Each year, we see parks announce that they are going to retire and remove a roller coaster from their lineup. And currently, there are a handful of coasters that I predict will get removed by the year 2030. Welcome to Keep Riding Coasters, formerly Theme Park Predictions. My name is Brandon, and starting off my list is a rather bold prediction. I predict that Steel Curtain at Kennywood will get removed by 2030. And here is why. Opening in 2019, Pennsylvania's tallest roller coaster, Steel Curtain, has never been able to get through a season without getting injured at some point. And when in operation, it seems like the $20 million coaster usually only operates with one train. Which is sad because in my opinion, Steel Curtain really is a heck of a ride. But with all the downtime, you know that Kennywood is regretting their decision to go with S&S for this project, and even though the coaster does offer more inversions than any other here in North America, I just don't feel like this coaster has a bright future at the park, and come 2030, it will not be a part of the Kennywood skyline in its current form. Heading west to Sandusky for this next prediction, and I'm sad to say that it's time to say goodbye to Corkscrew. As I've said in past videos, I just do not think Corkscrew will be around too much longer. And if you think that Cedar Point will not remove Corkscrew because it was the first coaster to flip riders upside down 3 different times, well, I hate to break it to you, but Vortex at Kings Island was the first coaster that flipped riders upside down 6 different times, and look what happened to that arrow. Corkscrew actually takes up more room at Cedar Point than you would think, and I could easily see another major coaster opening in this area at some point in the future. Flashback, located at Six Flags New England. Now how this coaster is still in operation, I just do not know. But there is no way that this Vekoma boomerang is still giving riders headaches in 2030. And if you take a look at the history of Flashback, it actually first opened way back in 1985 and is one of the oldest boomerang coasters in the entire world. The good news is its time is near and this coaster will get removed very soon. This video's showcased merched item is my Airtime Addict shirt, and you can find this at keepridingcoasters.com as well as all my other merch. Now this next one's gonna excite a lot of us. Boss, Six Flags St. Louis. Yes, come 2030, Boss will be no more at Six Flags St. Louis. And that is a great thing because I predict that we will all be enjoying riding Iron Boss, the park's new RMC hybrid coaster that could become a top 10 coaster. There are so many rumors coming back about Six Flags and RMC working together to make Boss great again. I just do not see how Boss will remain in its current form by the end of the decade. Wild Mouse, located at Hershey Park. While this is the smallest coaster on the list, it really does make sense as to why Hershey Park will want to remove this coaster. Location, location, location. Even though this mock Wild Mouse coaster isn't that old, debuting at the park in 1999, I predict that Hershey will either relocate it somewhere else in the park or remove it altogether. The boardwalk, Hershey's landlocked water park, is located right next to this attraction, and I could easily see this coaster get removed to make way for a new water slide complex of some kind. Kings Island and Vertigo, opening in 1999 along with Drop Zone as a part of the new action zone for the then Paramount's Kings Island, and Vertigo has been flipping riders upside down 6 times each cycle for quite a while now. Not to mention, but this is the only type of ride like this in North America that's still in operation. And Vertigo doesn't offer the best capacity, and as Kings Island continues to grow into the best overall park in the Cedar Fair chain, I suspect that come 2030, and Vertigo will be no more, and Kings Island will offer a whole new front entrance with a brand new coaster interacting with people walking in and out of the park. Now, if you're enjoying this video, then I really hope you consider becoming the newest Keep Riding Coaster subscriber. And if you don't mind, please take a second and give this video a like. Ninja, located at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Thankfully, this is the only aero-suspended coaster that I predict will get removed by 2030. Ninja is a really fun ride that plays off the Magic Mountain terrain beautifully. But I just don't see Six Flags dumping in money for this coaster for too much longer, especially with how bad Magic Mountain needs a new major coaster that is located at the top of the mountain. There's a lot of cool things that Magic Mountain could do with this area, and I'm very anxious to see what they have planned. Railblazer, located at California's Great America. I just do not see how this coaster will be in operation at any park come 2030 unless Cedar Fair starts to really pump some money into it sooner than later. You have to remember that this is a prototype, and just take a look at all the issues that Wonder Woman has had at Fiesta, the same exact ride. And my insider who works for Great America is telling me that the park is not spending much money on maintaining the longevity of Railblazer. So that concerns me. Again, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I am on this one. American Eagle, Six Flags Great America. Now the good news is, I predict that Great America will not remove American Eagle. Instead, they will just convert it into a massive hybrid coaster. And rightfully so, with Goliath, which is located right next to American Eagle, providing smooth wooden coaster rides. There is plenty of ways for Great America to convert American Eagle into a hybrid and still get away with having two semi-similar rides right next to each other. And honestly, I'm all in favor of this, and I would love to see what RMC could do with this coaster. However, I would also not be surprised if we saw Six Flags reach out to GCI for this project to really make this coaster stand out even more from Goliath. Heading to Six Flags America for Roar. And you knew this coaster was going to have to be on this list, and rightfully so, because it is time. And I definitely predict that Roar will get removed way before 2030, and we will see RMC come in and convert this into a solid mid-tier RMC. I am calling it now. Six Flags America is about to get some major love. Now it's time for yet another bold prediction for you to enjoy, and that is, I predict that Carowinds will remove both Nighthawk and Vortex at the same time. Currently, both coasters reopened recently with new control panels, so they're not going away just yet. And if you think Hurler will get removed first, then you definitely want to check out this video here, because it's not going to happen. So, if Carowinds would remove their Vekoma flying coaster and their B&M stand-up, they would have around 5 acres to play around with that is located in the center of the park. This makes almost too much sense. Carowinds would remove 2 low-capacity coasters that are not very popular and replace them with a new high-capacity coaster that is much more popular. And just like Carowinds, I predict that Time Warp and Flight Deck will get removed from Canada's Wonderland skyline at the same time. And while these two horrible coasters don't take up nearly as much real estate as Nighthawk and Vortex do at Carowinds, Canada's Wonderland would still have around 3.5 acres to play around with, and that could easily get expanded if they needed to, which is great news for Canada's Wonderland. And if you're a fan of this park, the time is coming, I promise you. Just hold off a little bit longer, then we're going to be all impressed before 2030. Because these two coasters will be put out of their misery sooner than later. Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket, located at Universal Studios Florida. I recently created a video sharing why I do think Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket will be gone before 2030. So I recommend checking that video out once you finish this one, and you can find a link to it in the description of this video. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss it. But I predict that there is no way this coaster is around in 2030. And now it's time to share one last bold prediction with you. I sadly predict that the time is running out on riding Xcelerator at Knott's Berry Farm in its current form. There is only so much Cedar Fair can do with this coaster and so much money they want to spend on it to keep it in operation for decades to come. Now, Knott's Berry Farm could opt to remove the ride altogether, and this would give the park a good plot of land to build something new in. But I suspect that they could call up Zamperla and try to give Xcelerator the Top Thrill 2 treatment. But here's the catch. There is not room for a vertical spike without removing the S&S Tower Supreme Scream, so I doubt that's going to happen. Which brings me to this thought. Since the train launches right out of the station, could a LSM launch work without extending the ride's layout? I honestly think it would, and this would make Xcelerator so much more reliable. So we shall see. There you have it. Every major roller coaster that I predict will get removed by 2030. Which coasters that I mentioned on this list do you think will get removed or not removed? Also, any coasters that I did not mention that you think could get removed by 2030. Be sure to let me know in the comments. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to smile today, think positive, and of course, keep riding coasters.